Nevaeh.
My name's Damian.
My name is Samuel.
My name's Mateo.
My name's Janisa. My name's Uriel.
We are a group of 6 students sharing a documentary about the International Balloon Fiesta and how it connects to our culture.
Why is New Mexico important to you?
New Mexico culture is important to me because we have fiestas to show people our culture, and we can encourage people to come here.
New Mexico is important to me because it's where I was born and it's where my family lives.
New Mexico is important to me because I've been living here all my life and I'm still exploring New Mexico. Not only do I live here, but it's my family. Every school I go to is good, but Azonas Elementary School is the best school yet. I'm glad to be here.
New Mexico is important to me because my whole family is all living in New Mexico, and it is my culture.
New Mexico is important to me because it is where my family is and where I always will be.
New Mexico is important to me because it is the state I'm growing up in. It would be nice for more people to come visit, help our economy, and maybe enjoy our culture. This is a documentary on the Balloon Fiesta. First, we are going to mention history of ballooning. After, we will dive into the process of a hot air balloon. We will mention some balloon events. Next, we will learn about day and life of a pilot. Finally, we will reflect on the future of ballooning fiesta and the culture of New Mexico.
The International Balloon Fiesta attracts almost 600 balloons a day and 1,000 pilots. The first gathering was in 1972 and was held in the parking lot of the Coronado Center Mall in Albuquerque. The Balloon Fiesta has grown so much over the years. It has more balloons every year. Almost millions of people come to this event just to see all of the balloons that fly.
Let's go talk to some spectators about their experiences.
I came from Greenville, South Carolina. In Greenville, we have a balloon festival also. It's much smaller, and we've enjoyed that, but we wanted to come to what was known as the best festival, so we came all the way out to New Mexico.
What time do you get up this morning, and have you ever come to this event before?
We got up at 4:45 this morning, and no, this is my first time to come to this festival. So we're looking forward to it. Hoping the balloons go up.
What is your favorite hot air balloon, and could you explain?
I like the ones that look like they're the old balloons from France that look like a Harlequin style balloon. Those are my favorite.
What other events have you gotten a chance to check out while you're here this morning?
I haven't done anything else here this morning. We just arrived yesterday, so I haven't had a chance to do much yet.
ABQ Balloon Museum is a non-profit foundation to raise money for the ABQ International Balloon Fiesta. Most of the history in the Balloon Museum is collaborative with the ABQ International Balloon Fiesta. Pictures from the museum.
How does a hot air balloon fly?
Let's find out. Hot air balloons work because hot air rises. By heating the air inside the balloon with the burner, it becomes lighter than the cooler air on the outside. This causes the balloon to fly upward. It's a hot air balloon. The burners is a tank that make the hot air balloon fly up. The grids keep it closed. The envelope is the whole thing except the basket. The propane is the tank in the baskets. The panels are the colored skirt part that protects the fire from going all over the place.
Explain the process of ballooning. What do you need to do to land a hot air balloon?
To land, okay. Well, before we land the hot air balloon, we actually have to get it in the air. So the first thing that we want to do is lay the balloon over on its side, hook up the cables from the basket to the envelope. The envelope's the fabric part of the balloon, and with that then we have some big inflator fans. They've got big lawnmower type engines, and they got big propellers on them, and that blows air into the balloon in order to inflate it. So then we can add the heat once we have that cold air in it. We call that cold packing it. Once we add the heat, then we stand the balloon upright and add enough heat to keep it in an upright position while we load passengers. Once they're all on board, then we need to add enough heat to actually make it lift off. So the idea behind a hot air balloon is we're creating a less dense air mass than the surrounding air. So heat is less dense than the colder air. So once we heat it up to a point that we can lift off with the amount of weight that we have, then we're free to leave the Earth. And if we give a lot more heat, we'll climb. If we give a little bit of heat, we can keep it at a level flight. And if we don't give too much heat, we can actually bring it back down. So our only control is vertical. Going up or down is under our control. Then we find different winds at different altitudes. That's how we're going to steer the balloon. And so there will be different winds in different directions. And as we climb through the atmosphere, we're looking for those winds to steer into a place that we want to land. And by landing, what we're looking for is we want to have clear power lines. We want to make sure it's an accessible area for our crew to get into. And with that, those winds will steer into that field. And as we come down, we'll level it off just above the ground, and then we can open up the top of the balloon to release all that air out of the balloon, and the balloon will stay on the ground with the weight in the basket. So it's very controlled. Even though we don't all fly together, we'll land them. All 600 balloons here, we could all take off, and maybe none of us would land together in the same field. But it's all the same technique for on the landing.
I know the Balloon Fiesta launches balloons, but are there any other special events happening during this time?
Yes, Nevaeh, it very much is, along with competitions and many other events that the Balloon Fiesta has for us.
Let's go learn.
Dawn Patrol began the Balloon Fiesta in 1978. The hot air balloons take off very early in the morning, and when the sun comes up, they find a place to land. Dawn Patrol goes into the air to check the weather, to see if the weather is okay to fly in.
The red, green, and yellow flags are the flags that the balloon pilot showed to the people at the Balloon Fiesta to tell them that they are safely in the air or they need to fly down because the weather is not safe to go higher. The green flag means they're able to fly. Yellow means to wait. Red means to no longer fly.
Mass ascension is when two waves of hot air balloons launch in the air. The hot air balloons launch at 7 a.m. on mass ascension days.
The event known as Glodio was invented in Albuquerque, New Mexico in 1979 when local residents inflated balloons on Christmas Eve night as a thank you to the local residents. That's how we got the Glodio in New Mexico.
A special shaped rodeo is when many different shapes of balloons come and fly. A special shaped balloon is a balloon that has different shapes and sizes in different colors and with different designs, and the special shaped rodeo started in 1989 and is known in 2018, and the first special shaped rodeo had 28 balloons.
One of the competitions at the Balloon Fiesta is a multi-judge declared goal. What the competitors have to do is the pilots have to fly at least 1 mile and use the upper level winds to navigate to drop markers as close to several goals as they can, flying 1 mile. This is a diagram of the multi-judge declared goal. They have to fly at least 1 mile, and the judge tells them to go to either A, B, or C, and they have to drop markers at close to either one, and if they do, they can get a point.
Let's talk to some international pilots that actually own a special shaped balloon.
Yeah, let's go talk to some. Thank you for joining us. What's your name?
My name is Daniel Turcotte.
My name is Sylvain Tremblay.
Where are you from and what is the name of the balloon you fly?
I'm coming from Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. It's not far from Montreal. We are French-Canadian from Canada, and the name of the balloon is Pico.
What inspired you to become a pilot?
Oh, it's a magic. It's magic thing up there. You fly. You like a balloon, just a bubble float on the air, and with no wind, it's magic. If you see up there a balloon, it's always magic. That's why I come about a pilot.
And how long have you been a pilot?
Since 1987, almost 35 years.
It's an old pilot.
I'm a whole pilot. Yeah. And it's my 5th time here. Pico went here. Pico has been here for 15 years.
What is your favorite part of being here in New Mexico at the Balloon Fiesta?
Fly, and have fun with the people like you. That's the most important thing.
What is the hot air balloon made of?
The fabric of the balloon is nylon. It's very light because if we want to take air, we have to be lighter than the air, so we use nylon.
And how does the heat make it fly?
Because the air on the balloons come up, really up, and the hot air is lighter than the cold air. That's why we're gonna fly with.
Chainsaw carving at the Balloon Fiesta.
Come see what the Chips Flying Everywhere is all about our International Balloon Fiesta. The safety of chainsaw carving is very important for our safety. For example, they use goggles and gloves and thick clothes for the chips not to hit them. Let's talk about what they do. Chainsaw carvers get the chainsaws and wood and carve wood with the chainsaws. They carve animals, dinosaurs, and many other things.
Launch directors, also known as zebras, and announcers are very involved during this event.
Let's go talk to some.
Can you please tell me what you do here?
My name is Samantha Sanchez, and I'm a launch director for Balloon Fiesta.
And I'm also a launch director.
Why do you like coming to this event?
I like coming because we have a lot of fun, we get to meet a lot of people, and it's the greatest show on earth.
I like to come out here because I get my picture taken a lot.
Safely and coordinately launch off the field.
Our main job is a safe, coordinated launch. We help get this event off safely.
Do you work here every day?
I am here every morning for the Balloon Fiesta, and I'm lucky I live close, so I wake up about 3:30 to be here.
I wake up about 3 to get here.
Hi, my name is Damien. Can you tell us your name?
Hi, Damien. My name's Art Lloyd Jr.
And what do you do at the Balloon Fiesta?
Got a couple of jobs here. I'm the executive producer of Balloon Fiesta Live, which means I'm in control of how everything comes together here from our live stream on Facebook and YouTube. So I'm in charge of all of that, but my other job is to be the announcer here as well. So I'm talk about what's happening here at Balloon Fiesta, describe the different balloons, provide information about ballooning, and that goes out on the not only those live streams, but to the PA speakers, so everybody here at the field hears it as well.
Have you rode a balloon?
I have, many times. Actually, I have more than 200 hours of actually being the pilot of a balloon.
And what's your favorite balloon so far of all the Balloon Fiesta?
Oh, it's the one I'm flying at the moment. That's the most favorite balloon, is the one you're actually in and flying. There's no such thing as an ugly balloon here at Balloon Fiesta. Some are just more pretty than others.
What's your favorite thing to do?
My favorite thing to do here at Balloon Fiesta is really to talk to people about ballooning and be able to help them understand the sport of ballooning, how it all works, how it comes together, telling them stories about the different balloons that I know or the different pilots, how this came to be or that came to be, why the name of that balloon is what it is. So it's really telling the story of Balloon Fiesta, the individual balloons and the people. That's my most favorite thing, which is kind of why I don't fly during Balloon Fiesta. I like telling the stories. I get to fly all the rest of the year in balloons, but telling the stories is great.
How many balloons have you helped, if you helped any?
I've lost count of how many balloons I've actually helped work on. I've probably Flown, actually piloted about 20 different ones myself. I flew a special shape one time in, where was it? South Dakota. The Mataruska, the Russian doll, I've actually flown that one. I've flown the stork balloon up in Taos, and a whole lot of other balloons as well. But those are the two special shapes that I remember flying.
And how long have you been working here?
I started volunteering at the Balloon Fiesta in 1981. So about 37 years ago, I started doing this.
Thank you for joining me.
You bet.
Yeah.
Glad to be with you.
Hi, my name is Samuel D. Temple. I'm in the 4th grade, and I'm doing a broadcast about the Balloon Fiesta.
Okay.
What is your job here at the Balloon Fiesta?
I am one of the two announcers, or the co-host for Balloon Fiesta Live. We broadcast on the computer, on the internet, around the world, describing to people what's happening here at Balloon Fiesta, and we're also on a PA system talking to the spectators that are here on the crowd.
Why do you like coming to this event?
I do enjoy it. I've been doing this for 29 years, so I've been coming back year after year after year, so I enjoy it quite a bit. I used to be a radio disc jockey and a TV news reporter, and so that's kind of how I got into doing this, but I'm also a hot air balloon pilot, and I've flown here before as a pilot, but for the last 29 years I'm up here talking about it because I enjoy sharing ballooning with folks like yourself and of your age and right on up to my age, so kids of all ages, I guess you could say.
Which one would you prefer you like best, flying or broadcasting?
Boy, that's a tough question, Sam. I have so much fun broadcasting. It is a lot of fun. But when the weather is really, really nice, there's nothing better than being up in a balloon. So I guess it would be kind of depending on the weather. When it's windy and a little ugly, I'd rather be up here talking then because it's easier.
Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thanks. I hope you have a good time at Fiesta.
Thank you.
The experience at the Balloon Fiesta is really connecting me to the New Mexico culture. I wonder what it's like to be a hot air balloon pilot.
Well, let's find out. What inspired you to become a pilot?
I've always liked aviation. I have also flown airplanes, but I went for a balloon ride about almost 40 years ago. I was excited about balloons. I bought a balloon, and since that time we have been involved in ballooning all over the country and the world. It's a good thing.
How big is the balloon?
Balloons come in all sizes. The balloon that just flew out of here, I would guess, is about 70,000 cubic foot. This balloon right here is 105,000 cubic feet. And the biggest balloon that you'll see here is about 300,000 cubic feet, about a time and a half bigger than this balloon that we are flying here today. And the bigger the balloon, the more lift it has and the more people it can carry.
And how long have you been a pilot?
I've been a pilot since 1981. I know, you remember that? You don't remember 1981 probably.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. Have a good time.
Thank you. We enjoyed being here and enjoyed being part of your interview. Thank you.
My name is Troy Bradley. I live here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I've been here for 35 years. I actually came from Denver, flying balloons up there before coming to Albuquerque. And my balloon that I fly actually has the Zia on it so for the state of New Mexico. So I fly the Zia balloon.
So I'm a pilot. I got my license when I was 16 years old.
How long have you been flying?
I've been flying pretty much my whole life, but my first flight was when I was 5 months old, and I started my training when I was 13.
How did you learn to fly, and what inspired you to learn how to fly?
So I learned how to fly balloons from an instructor. I actually didn't learn how to fly from my dad because I didn't want to learn how to fly from my dad. But my instructor, we had to go through a certain set of skills that you had to learn, and then I had to take a written test, an oral test, and a flight test. And I was pretty much inspired just because my family is into it.
Have you been with your dad when he broke a world record?
I've not been with my dad when he's broken a world record, but I was part of the command center and the avionics team when he did his flight over the Pacific. And he actually has a record that he named after me because he did it on my 3rd birthday. So there's a record named Savannah 3.
Do you plan
plan on trying to break one of your dad's records?
I plan on breaking all of my dad's records. I'm definitely going after it, and he is willing to help me as well.
More events and traditions we didn't get to talk about, such as the amazing New Mexican food and natives. I wonder what all the traditions and events connect to New Mexico that we can connect to our culture too.
It was so awesome to learn from real world experiences. Yeah, I can't wait to learn more. Yeah, me too. Until next time. Bye.